just tell me a little about your design tree. Let's start with Aaron.
Hello, sir. For my ArcDes 3, I was actually in the same class as Xiao. So I think so far it was good. What I primarily did was really just try to explore more on surveying and trying to apply that into architecture, into the architectural design. So I've sat on some thesis works in Benilde before, and I noticed that a lot of people particularly focused on the surveys to to rather reinforce more how much the design could be applicable to the actual situation that they're trying to solve. So that's something that Mark and I kind of went through quite heavily on. So surveying and also going through the sciences of surveying that I've learned from before in psychology. And
Mark,
then
again, you were working with Mark. What's the last name?
oh sorry, Mark J.
Okay.
Virai.
All right.
Yeah.
Mark. Okay.
Yes, and so it was a great experience, I would say. We did our project was to create have like a public. It was more of like a sustainable design, and we opted for a to kind of just renew the look and feel, and also the function of the LRT in Vida Cruz station. And so we tried to create or try to adapt the same. We try to simulate the same things that Highline had in New York into the Taft into the Taft application. It was fun to do, and hopefully we did it justice. So far, the professor was quite happy about it. Our professor was Sir Zander.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you have images
And
of?
so
Do you have
oh
do you have something to share with us? Just for me
okay,
to gauge where you are in terms of design.
okay. I'll be right back.
Si Aaron pala, is she the one in your photo, Tracy, no, when you were hanging out in a park?
Sorry.
No, I saw your IG story. You were hanging out in a park. I get confused between Aaron and Jeric. I thought and Jeric are the same person.
Layo, sir, malayo.
Kaya nga, when I was
I
looking,
have
parang
glasses.
layo nga
Sida
eh.
sa tao. Kadate yun ni Tracy, sir.
Ah, okay. So it was Aaron. It was Aaron pala. Sige. So, yeah, I just want to get to know each other first and each and every one of you, and then the kind of work that you've accomplished already, so that somehow I can manage not just my expectation, but at the same time I can look at the areas that you guys can improve on as a designer. Sige, Bea, what did you work on? Maybe the rest who are waiting, who weren't under me, um, can probably you can prepare in your files some images of your work. Bea, so what did you work on, and who was your professor, and how was your experience?
So my prof was Miss Isola. I don't know how to say her name actually, but the title of the whole project that we did was When There's Nothing Left to Design. So then it was more of kind of really exploring, like breaking boundaries in architecture and really designing without necessarily a purpose, like a specific purpose, like how hospitals like have a purpose or malls or anything. So then it's really based on the site itself. So then what we did was get like a fictional site. Well, I kind of chose a more realistic site that was located in Mindanao. It was like surrounded by a whole lake and everything. So then you can't really build there, but then it was pretty fictional in the sense that, like, what if you can build there and you put something that really reflected the space there? So then that's what we did. And it was really nice because we really explored playing with different colors and textures and everything, materials and such. So it kind of really took us out of our comfort zone that time. But yeah, I don't know how to share images through my iPad, so I'll share in a bit too.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
so-
While you figure that out, I think I missed the first part that you said. Like, what was the topic or agenda of
Oh,
the class?
when there's nothing left to design.
Oh, there's
So
nothing
then
left.
it was, yeah.
Okay, this
It was
definitely
the same
very
topic
interesting.
as Sir Chito's class.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
very
Okay,
interesting.
Sir Harvey.
I'm curious how you guys produce an architectural
Hardy pala, right?
later on. So maybe you can share that with us. And then yeah, so I wish that everyone can bear with the length of our Zoom discussion. Some of you were used to it already, as evinced by Max IG story last term. Because in my class, kasi, I tried to manage it, but I think this time, since Design 4 is, I think, the last of the creative design class, we'll try to maximize our time. So, Aaron, are your images ready? You ready?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Wait lang, baka let me multiple sharing ready. You're allowed to share anytime.
Thank you, sir. So let's move on to this. So this is
Just
the work that we
scroll
did.
through the images. Yeah, and then the images that you are proud of. Uh, basically, I'm just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yes, sir. Sorry.
I'll just scroll through the images just
Okay.
so
So
you're more familiar. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. So far what we had was the animation, but I could just forward through them. So this is the design that we had for the for Taft.
Okay. So this is
So, sir, would you?
a long task.
Yep. Yes, this is a long Taft, sir. So we tried our best to kind of also look for ways we could integrate our knowledge of calculating for the sun path to, just have people also have not quite sheltered to some extent.
Okay.
And then, also kind of just managing the amount of traffic that was in there by diffusing them into different programs. So we had like waiting areas above. So quite very London, Paris-esque kind of train station where they would have waiting, areas to go into, which was also accessible through the disabled people on the left. There's an elevator.
Okay.
And so we also brought about the, local life as well. We hope to bring it there as well so they could contribute somehow locally into the Taft area, because there's a lot of people who try to to do a lot of businesses on the side here in Taft, and it kind of congests the street more. So we decided to just relocate them into a more strategic and formal area, and then just a lot more seating arrangements, and hopefully also a better view for the people inside the trains and outside the train, that offered also like as a protection to the people walking aside. And they're quite connected as well to the other residential buildings is what we targeted to hopefully also kind of just hopefully we were hoping that we would get some form of promotion or financial support by them, because we did appreciate land value by adding parks to their to their overall amenity use, and especially if they connected directly, it'd be a lot better for them as well. And this is just the train as it passes through. And yeah, so actually I think this is probably just the end of it. It's just the overlook and feel.
Okay, thank you. Was it posted in YouTube?
Yes, sir. It was sorry. Yeah, yes, sir. It was posted in YouTube. Eventually I could share the link as well.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Probably you can share it in our group chat later on. Just a few critique. I don't want to make this a critique long, because basically the purpose of asking you guys about your previous work is to familiarize myself with your capabilities and at the same time your design knowledge. So what software did you use for this walkthrough?
So far it's the Lumion 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Okay, just if you think about it, I it reminds me of the High Line, how it addresses the second layer of a sidewalk or a second layer of a public space. If you have a very congested ground plane, and maybe technically, while I'm very excited to see the sinuous forms, the fluid forms, etc. Uh, Later on, when you are dealing with the technical aspect of building it, those profiles will be thicker. So it looks nice because even with my current project now, I want to make it thicker to make it look sexier. But in reality, you have to consider beams, the thickness of the beams. So that's why you have to consult with the engineer. You can propose an idea, a standard, but it's always the engineer who has the last say about the thickness. You need to negotiate with them. But right now, we can see that the roof profiles, the roof lines, are still in its preliminary stages. So it's very thin. So it's not very realistic yet. But I could be wrong because probably an engineer can say, oh, we can always do a buhos or uh, yeah, just like how Zaha did likes doing her buildings. So yeah, so like that. So thank you, Aaron. So Bea, you have something to show or not yet? Ah, sige.
I was
Sige,
thinking I'll just send
maybe,
it on the group chat later or
sige.
something.
Maybe you can send it to
Yeah.
the group chat and then I'll be the one to show it and then you can explain it to us. So maybe you can send it now while I go through the other students. Adrius,
Okay.
what do you have to show? Quickly lang naman, Bea. Quickly yung mga ano lang.
So, ito po, sir. Tang.
What was the project about, Adrius?
Sir, ano po, gumawa po kami ng museum design. Museum, sir.
Okay. Show us some images.
Pero before that, sir, nag-exercise muna po kami. Nag-start po kami sa door design. Ito po, sir. Design door. Ano po siya, sir? Marker muna po.
And then the design of the door became the DNA or sort of the inspiration for the building.
Parang ganun po, sir.
Okay,
Parang
so
gusto po niya creative.
okay, can you show us the final output?
This one, sir.
So you have plans ready. Do you have a okay, can you zoom into the plan? Just to have a criticism so that when we do plans in the studio, you already know what to expect. Kasi zoom in pa.
Ay, hindi po nag-zoom.
Kahit isang floor plan lang, kahit hindi yung buong dalawang floor plan.
Ito po, pwede po palang zoom.
Okay. Sige, zoom in pa. Just to be ano lang, fair. Zoom in. Zoom in pa. Okay. Okay, just for everyone's information, I'm just gonna criticize it, Idrius, ha? So,
Sure, okay lang po.
okay. You notice that it's all black and white drawing, no? So make sure that you're very consistent when presenting your floor plan. If it's going to be black and white, then do black and white. But you seldom see architects present floor plans in different colors. It's very elementary when you do that because it is as if you weren't able to export the file from AutoCAD. So the line layer and line type and the line color is still reflected on the exported floor plan. It's the same case with what we're seeing here. Probably the layer of the columns weren't changed and the settings still the same. That is why it's still colored. No, so it doesn't look very professional. So you need to be very consistent. What you need to work on when it comes to drawings like this is the line values. So definitely there are walls that have to be thicker, and there are minor walls that have to be thinner, and then the structure will have to be thicker, including the sizes of the dimension and the labels uh, have to be sized and scaled accordingly to the point that it does not overwhelm the floor plan. Do you get it? Okay,
Yes.
so especially when I'm looking at the pathway, you're looking at um, what do you call it? Let me try to annotate. I don't know if I'm allowed to annotate. Lance, how do you annotate again? If I'm not the one sharing.
View options
View
sa taas.
options.
Okay. Ba't
Then
wala?
annotate. Sa
Slow.
tabi ng green, sir.
Okay, kala ko ano eh. Ayun, okay. So, you see this? This one? Okay. The line values of the brick is really too thick to the point that it jumps off the screen. Do you get it? So, and you know, it's just a
Yeah.
pattern on the floor. When you're looking at the floor plan, what you need to see are the division of the rooms, because that's what will make others read the program of the building and the function of the building. Okay, so you need to manage these elements in creating a very effective communication of the floor plan. Okay, Idus?
Yes.
Okay, sige, let's move on to the next one. Thank you, Idris. You can stop sharing.
Wait, paano po ulit?
Idris, you can stop sharing. Ayan, okay.
Ayun po, nakita ko na po. Sir.
Okay, Lance, ikaw naman. Okay. Pwede ka magsalita, Lance.
Wait lang, sir. Ayan.
Ayun.
So, for our artistry, our prof asked us to pick 5 nature elements na we find interesting. So from it, we should derive it to architectural or something else na pwede i-apply. So for mine, ang natira lang sa akin is 3 elements, which is a cave, a nest, and other kind of nest.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you shared this with me. Yeah, you shared this with me before, and then I'm happy to see the final development. The presentation looks very polished. Yeah, can you move up? What's the rendering software you use?
Sorry, sir. Nakamute pala ako. I used Lumion for it, and then yung post-processing niya is Photoshop and Lightroom.
This is the Pore portfolio. This is Pore board layout, no?
Yes, sir.
It looks good. Looks like I thought it was a website at first. So can you look at the floor plan? Let me just see the quality of the floor plan. Okay, can we go at least yung kahit isa lang na floor plan, probably the ground level, done with the that has a lot of labels. Okay.
And
So
sir,
the
medyo blurry lang.
Okay. So what do you think will be the structural system for this?
So the structural system is gonna be used bamboo po, sir. Nasa exploded axonometric view. So may research paper kasi behind this, and then From the research, parang in-apply lang namin but not that accurate pa. Parang
Okay. Can
no accurate data.
you don't have the axonometric drawing? Okay.
So-
Okay. So you still have to back this up with research if this is going to work, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Probably you may look at examples um, of bamboo structures with huge spans, with complex forms, because definitely you will need to consult an engineer regarding this, and this has to be tested. Um, yeah, but the presentation wise, it looks professional. Okay, thanks, Lance.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, John Francis Martin.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Can we see? Can you share your work?
Okay.
Okay. So while you're sharing it, yeah, just get used to getting criticized, guys. And at the same time presenting your work because our profession is all about portfolio. Having a really good portfolio. Can you give us a brief explanation on what this project was all about?
So for Artistry, sir, sabi ni Sir Ron sa amin na we were required to join AIDA for the finals. So ito yung submission ko for the AIDA competition. Yung concept dito is designing a space for schizophrenics. Kasi yung basic idea ng sa class namin dun sa artistry is designing for mental disorders, ganun. So I came up with
You accidentally press mute. Ayun, there.
so I came up with this design. Schizophrenics kasi they demand a greater space. So parang they need bigger space compared to normally able human beings. So ito sir yung presentation ko for the finals namin. And
Okay. All right.
sir, pakita ko yung words. So ito yung interior perspective, sir. Basically, kaya may color chip sa gilid is requirement siya dun sa AIDA competition. And this one din. And ito na yung last board, sir. So that's all, sir.
Okay. What is the span of the entire building? Like the big space on the side?
This one.
Or let's say the entire length of the building na lang. What is the length of that building?
It's 45 meters by 90 meters, sir.
So the longest is 90.
Yes, sir. The shortest is 45.
Okay, so you need to figure out later on if this is going to be built, how we're going to support that big immense space in the middle. So that will be a question. So because the moment you introduce the structural system, the form will definitely change because how it stands is very important. And how it stands will also influence the architectural form. Okay, so while I also get probably just a minor criticism, while I also get the idea of immense space, that is required for schizophrenia. Um, in terms of a design point of view, how does this differ from a gymnasium? Like, and I use a gym, the argument is just open space. Like, what other aspects of schizo patients can you address that will be addressed by architecture? You know what I mean? Because right now we're only dealing with just space and proxemics. You're dealing with providing a big open space. So the argument is, then I can just use a gym. I don't need to build this facility. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
sir.
if you are going to push this further, to make it more special, to make it more advanced, you need to think along those lines. All right? Sige. Okay, thank you, Jan. Sige,
Thank you,
let's
sir.
move on to the next. Joe? Are you ready?
Can you hear me now?
Ay, talaga,
Um,
can you still hear me? Kasi medyo malayo ako. Mina ba ako?
No sir, mahina.
Amazing.
oh, okay. Do we like okay? Can I share? Screen. Okay.
I should get pala a mic, no? I think I have a mic. Lance, gagana ba rito yung lapel ko? Yung boya?
Opo.
Gagana kaya
Opo.
gagana dito?
Ay, di ko lang sure yun, sir. Hindi ko pa na-try
Yata
yun.
sir, yata.
I'll try. Super ako. So just I can't find the lapel. Let me try this. Can you can you guys hear me?
YouTuber na yan.
Actually, di ko yung marinig.
Grabe.
Wait ah.
Sure, mag-earphones ka na lang. Okay.
Select a speaker. So I guess it's working, no? It's working.
Yes, sir.
Lagi ko pinagtatawanan ako ni Mac eh. Is it still working?
Yes sir, nanonood ka sa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mas malakas ba kaysa kanina?
Opo.
Mas better. Oh, mas better yun.
How about now? Mas better ba?
Maganda yung quality.
Yes, sir.
Ah, really? Okay. Wow. Bala ko na itapon to eh kasi parang pangit ang quality. Until Lance
Maganda.
recommended the Takstar. Anyway,
Takstar.
okay, sorry Daw.
Can I start now?
You can start already, sorry.
Okay. So I was in the same studio with Aaron, so with Sir Sander, and mine is quite different from his because it's more of a social reconstruction. Uh, so this is one of the renders I did for the thing, and basically, I forgot. It's basically a partnership of the public and private, and the building is split into two buildings. One is a residential space, and the second one is a rehabilitation for orphans or like the the homeless, like that. Uh, so I have some more renders. This one is like a space for uh the how do I say this? Like a space for the orphans and like the homeless to like reconnect with each other, and like you could see some perforated walls. It's my experiment with like opacity that wasn't really in the project brief, but I just wanted to like experiment with it. And like some this one's in the residential space, so like yeah, and this one's like the park my group did. Oops. And then like in when building the space, we just tried to make it simple, and like uh would when we were making the form, it was just really simple blocks like that, as you could see here. And like we tried to do like a wind funnel design, something like this. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it.
Okay. The renderings look seductive. So I guess it can be a peg for everyone. But do you have floor plans of this proposal?
um no, but like I had like axonometric like that. I mean like something like this, I guess, if this is considered a plan, like just to see the program
Okay.
of the spaces. Yeah,
Okay.
like this.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah.
Sige. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jao. Sige, can we go to the next one? Uh, Kirsten Franchet. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Friendship,
Franchet.
friendship po.
Franchet. Okay, Franchet.
Opo.
Are you French?
Same lang po kami ni Adrius po ng prof. Museum din po yung ginawa namin.
Okay. Do you have
Museum
something
of
to
the
share?
Senses. Pwede po ba interior lang?
Sige, no, no problem. Actually, this is not graded. I'm just trying to be more familiar with your work and your capabilities as well.
Okay.
Don't shy. Hindi pa naman to graded eh.
Bakit po internet? Sir, ganito po yung
Okay.
interior ko. Kasi challenge po kami ni Sir Flancia na yung lot po namin triangular. So, yung halos po sa amin, yung mga design po namin pa-triangular din, yung buildings.
Yeah, I guess the crucial part about designing on challenging plots is that you need to see the spaces inside. And the way design is all about architectural interiors. So, which I understand. That's why I understand it. what you have are interior vignettes.
Apo.
Okay. Is that it?
Then, wait. Ganyan po yung mga ginawa namin.
Okay. All right. Okay, I think I'm good. Thank you, Franchet.
Okay po.
Do you have a nickname? I'm scared to mispronounce your name.
Shay, okay na po yung,
Okay, Shay. Okay.
okay na po yung Shay.
Medyo bulol kasi ko eh, kaya it's better with nicknames. Yun, Cheska.
Okay.
Sir, same po kami ni Bea. Prof ko rin po si Sir, Stone.
Okay. Si Miss Isola.
Yes po.
Mhm. You have any? Ay, there you go.
Kita po ba, sir?
Yeah, we can see it.
So, yung project po namin is to create a world without any worries po, where there's nothing left to design. So, gumawa po kami ng world, and I created po a city and what it looks like. So, it was plain and simple po, their lives. Basically, they only have like 5 houses, and this is what it looks like. And the residences po, all attached together, and it looks very simple like this. And I added like a maze sa city nila, and this is how it looks like. Ganito po. And the purpose of this po is for them to understand themselves better and their emotions better, because that is what's lacking po sa world na I created. This is what it looks like inside. It's purely focused on materials and how it corresponds to how they will feel. Yan po.
Okay. You see, guys, the quality of spaces in each of the vignette or each of the views. When you guys reach thesis level, all of these have to be justified with a study. If not a study, a theory. Let's say that green wall evokes a certain emotion, then it has to be proven by a survey, by probably a study done by another entity or another group of people, or a theory based on a book. So right now this is a good exercise, but later on, what I'm saying is that um, it has to be based on something. Maybe this is based on something. I just can't read it right now because the texts are too small on my screen. But I'm just pointing that out. Okay, thank you, Jessica. All right, let's go to Marielle Alexi.
Wait lang, sir.
Okay, sige. For the others, I know it's medyo nakakainip because you guys are waiting. There's also a way for you guys to learn. But I have important things to say later on. But you are free to do what you want on the site for as long as you are paying attention. You can get food, maybe except probably watching TV because it can distract us from the noise. But the moment I call you, pay attention na lang so that you are ready. So Marielle, are you ready? Or maybe we can go to Anna first. Or Leia.
Ito na.
Okay, sige.
Sir, yan yung interior nung work kay Miss Isola din. Sir, ayaw bumukas ng exterior ko eh, pero
Okay. So what's the idea behind the divider?
actually sir, ano lang yan eh. Yung nasa exterior talaga yung
Okay.
yung concept ko. Hindi ko siya makita eh.
Okay.
And
So I'll go to the
yung
next one.
sana sir.
Then why don't you find
Sir?
it? And then I'll get back to you later. Is that okay?
Sige sir.
All right. Just kahit isang exterior lang para may idea kami kung ano yung idea behind it.
Okay po.
Okay. Sige, let's go to Leia Espiritu or Ana Garcia.
Sir, magka-group po kami ni Leia.
Opo, sir. Same class po kami kay Sir Sadie po. Tapos po.
Sir, who's the professor?
Sadie po.
Kay Ali, okay.
Apo. Tapos po, yung isa po sa mga ginawa naming project for Art District is 7 Deadly Sins po. So, bale, yung ginawa po ni Sir sa amin nun sa class is dinivide niya po kami into 7 Deadly Sins. Tapos kami po ni Ana, we were tasked to do the exterior. So, ito po yung naging project po namin. It's a video. So, bale po, parang nandito na po lahat ng gawa po ng buong klase namin. So, pakita ko na lang po.
Sige.
Sir, kita na po ba?
Okay, tama na.
Okay po, wait lang.
Actually, I'm familiar with this because he showed me this video. He shared this with our track group.
Yes po.
But just for everyone's reference.
Beware of monotony. It's the mother of all deadly sins. Edith Wharton, an American novelist, once said. In our moment of weakness, we people allow these deadly sins to become part of our lives, these dull and unceremonious acts, translating the raw emotions from sinning. The idea for the exteriority of the gallery was to create a form out of continuous stagnancy with the use of a monotonous concept design. The structure is composed of 3 levels, anchored with the concept of one traveling through the underworld or the Tartarus, then exploring Asphodel, the land of neutrality, and Elysium or the paradise. Upon entering the world of deadly sins, a zone called Limbo should be experienced first. This acts as a border placed between heaven and hell, translated as the entrance of the whole gallery. The design was built with the exposed materials in their raw state, manifesting the imperfections of all the sinners. The idea of surrounding the entire exterior with two-way glass and corrugated steel allows the people from the outside to see the reflection and coldness of every sin without perceiving it out of their own perspectives.
Sir, bale sa amin po yung exterior. Pakita ko pa po ba yung lahat?
The idea of sloth is both deadly and cunning.
10 minutes
As it
po kasi. Pero yung sa amin po yung exterior. So,
maybe you
lahat
can
po, send ko na lang po yung link.
Yeah,
Pa?
send the link. But can you show us the exterior that you're referring to is the first part of the video?
Yes po, yun po yung sa
okay.
amin.
Okay, see, that's good enough. Okay, I was
Apo.
about to ask what your scope was.
Oh,
Okay, thank you, Leia, and
you're welcome po.
tama ba si Ana ba yung isa?
Opo.
Alright, sige. Sino si screen share?
Sir, ako po yung nag-screen share.
Hindi, meron kasing account. If you're gonna look at the roster of students, ang pangalan niya screen share. O, ano to? Kasunod ni Julian Patrick, screen share nakalagay.
Sir, only screen share akin po yan eh.
Wait lang ha. Are we still complete? There are 20. Merong isang student ang pangalan screen share. Pero di siya
Kay Idrius daw yun.
Okay, Idrius.
Screen share device niya. Wow.
Okay. Kaya pala 20. Okay. Mariel, do you have it already? And
Yes, sir. Ito na.
okay, sige.
Ito po ba, sir?
It's still loading.
Okay na, sir.
Yeah.
Yan, sir. Kasi since it's big naman, yung ginawa ko, open lang siya for everyone and walang security, ganun. Para, open for anyone, anytime. Ganun.
Okay.
And ito, it's glass. Kasi sa, siya, highlands or mountains, sana.
Okay.
Overlooking the ocean. So, maganda yan if, let's say, sunrise or sunset. It's relaxing. Kasi yung building sana is for para makapag-relax ka. Parang off time sa work or school, ganun.
Okay.
Yan, sir.
So what was the relationship between this design, the exterior, and the interior elements that you showed us earlier, the divider? Do they have any relationship at all?
Wala, sir. Dinivide ko lang kasi yung sa kabilang side, food, yung sa kabila, library or anything na, let's say, for sa kids, can be a playground, indoors, ganun.
Okay. Okay. Sige, but what was the reason behind your choice of materials, colors, etc.?
Sir, kasi gusto ko siya, I want it to look like an intimidating structure. Pero pag pumasok ka, hindi siya intimidating. Ganun.
Okay. So I
Kaya
get the part.
medyo malaki din siya.
So guys, for everyone's information again, it's good to start with what you want, but later on, we need to be able to justify it with a certain study so that it's easier. So that it's easier to justify or defend. If, for example, this is going to be an actual project, if you're the client, it will sound a little indulgent if we keep on saying, this is what I want, this is what I prefer. Try to put yourself in the shoes of the client. It doesn't sound right because it's all about what you want. But if it's going to be based on a study, based on a analysis, that is more impressive. Do you get it, Marielle? Ayun. So I'm not saying that this is wrong because like I said, you have an agenda to work with, and I think that's part of the agenda in your studio. And at the same time, this was design 3, and it's still on the early stages. And the reason why I'm criticizing it this early, so that you can avoid it later on, and then when you reach thesis, you know what the professors are going to expect. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mariel. Okay. So I think I covered the newbies. Did I miss anyone? Okay. So let's have a 30-minute break, and then we'll meet again here. It's already, actually, it's going to be less than 30 minutes. It's already 2 2:10. So let's meet at 2:30. Okay, so I'm going to provide the link later on. Okay, so I'll see you guys later.